Hey everyone, I am really excited about this Smithy Ironware Chef's Skillet. This is the number 10. First time I'm taking it out of the box. I also got the pot holder, which I'll show you up close, and their spatula that I've already kind of peeked at, but I'll show you those in a minute. Right now, let's take a look at this pan. So the Chef's Skillet is a little different than the traditional cast iron pan that has more angled sides, and I really think I'm going to enjoy this pan. I don't have one that's really shaped like it in cast iron. Most of my carbon steel pans are shaped like this, but not this one. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the field skillet that I'm sure you're all familiar with right here, and that would be the traditional Smithy skillet shape. Hard side, or more of a right angle. And you can see just how different this is. So that's the first comparison. Next up is the finish. So these little gummy things evidently is what held on the stuff that you get with it that I'll show you in a minute. So let's just peel those off real quick. And the pan is surprisingly lightweight. So here's what it looks like on the back. Smithy Ironware Company, number 10, US made. It's pretty rough. Definitely right out of a casting. Does have some kind of uniform look, but pretty unique to most cast iron pans. It reminds me a little bit of a Aus iron cast iron finish. Let me just show you one real quick. They don't make these anymore, but that's what the finish reminds me of. So this is the Aus iron cast iron pan from Australia, and when you look at the finish, it looks very similar. Very similar. So anyway, let's go ahead and just cut this label off here and give you a close-up look. So this is their logo. The handle is, it's a nice handle. It's short. It doesn't have any features that would help keep it cool like some of the other pans, but it's a nice shape. They've got these distinctive holes in here. This is, all the Smithy pans have these 3 holes, just kind of part of their design feature. Anyway, the finish is incredibly smooth. There are no ridges or really anything that I can see. They definitely put it on a lathe. They either cut that lathe or set that lathe incredibly tight, or they sanded it and polished it afterward. That's my bet, is they sanded it and polished it afterward. So it's not a mirror finish, but it's certainly not a matte finish. Some of the other pans are sandblasting the pan afterward to give it kind of a micro abrasion to hold seasoning. This though is a very, very unique finish. It's not like the polished surfaces that you see. It's kind of a silky, it has a silky feel to it. I bet it holds seasoning really well. Anyway, I think this is a perfect size. This of course is the 10-inch. Let's see how it sits on glass. Real quick, you get this thing. I don't know what this is, just some advertising. Of course, the label, or the mailing label. 3 ways to season. You got some tips, which we are likely not to follow any of that because I do my own thing, which I love the comments. I just got a comment this morning on my Stargazer video that I did right here at this stove. I've remodeled the kitchen since I did this video. You can see the stone back there, but this viewer wrote, in big letters, "You are ruining this pan." And man, I just love those kind of videos because you can't ruin this. I mean, unless you let it sit on the beach for a year, and even then you could probably bring it back. Anyway, I wanted to show you how it sits on glass. So right out of the box, it is perfectly, that's another thing. Oh, you can never cook on glass. Well, sure you can. But it sits perfectly flat. It doesn't wobble at all. Perfectly flat. Really nice. Okay, so here are these little extras that I got along with the pan. This is their spatula. This is actually considered a fish spatula if you were to Google this design. It's very thin. They put a nice little curve in it. I have some others that people have commented on. This one actually. This cost me $8 at a local kitchen store. It's stainless, it's held up beautifully. I have a couple of them, and it's perfectly flat. It's the same thickness, but perfectly flat. And you know, I like it. I use it for a lot of stuff. The reason why I like it is because you can get right up in the edge of the pan. This one from Smithy is just plain nicer. It's got brass, you know, whatever you call these, rivets or plugs that hold the handle on, and they are perfectly smooth. Sometimes you get where the brass and the wood is two different heights. On this, the brass and the wood is perfectly level. It's perfect. And the way they cut it around the edge here is also perfect. It's really, really nice. You can see they did some hand finish work here. You can tell that somebody did this by hand. One side is a little bit deeper than the other, which I love that kind of stuff. You've got some saw marks here in the brass. It just gives it that extra something. The Smithy logo is laser engraved, it looks like. And it has that slight curve with a slight bevel on the edge here. And you can really get in there to flip things. That's why I love this shape. I don't have a cast iron pan in that shape. I know I keep saying that. This one is, you know, harder edge. And then my other Os iron that is the most similar has really tall sides. So this does have a little bit of a chef's shape, but you can't flip anything in this. And you certainly can with the Smithy. This is also a beast, it's really heavy. But anyway, really, really nice. Really nice. Okay, then the next up is this leather handle. And I've never used one of these. It's handmade. You can see where they've just really wrapped a piece of leather and then stitched it only on the end here. It's kind of an interesting design. I actually didn't realize that it wasn't stitched. So that gives you double on the bottom or the top, depending on where you're feeling the heat. So if you get that on there, it grips really well. It goes in all the way. You can see right there is where it's bottoming out, right there. You got really good control. So I guess if your thumb feels hot and you're not comfortable, depending on how you hold it, you can flip it over and hold it like that. If your fingers down here start to feel the heat come through, you could flip it like that. I guess, yeah, they clearly want you to put it this way with the flap on the bottom. It says Hard Mill, Seattle, made by Hard Mill, Seattle, USA. But then the Smithy logo is on the top. So that's how it's meant to be. Really nice, just first class all the way, Smithy. I am so impressed. So that is the close-up of the 10-inch chef, the leather heat shield thing, and the Smithy spatula. I'm going to season this pan in my Traeger like I do all my pans, and then I'm going to burn in a surface like I've done on this pan. And I find that when you burn in this surface, I'll put the link to the video of burning in the surface. This is rock hard. I mean, you just really get a great surface with this pan by first traditionally seasoning it and then second burning in the layers of oil. I use hemp oil, but I'll show you that. A pan like this that is more porous, that burning in doesn't really serve any purpose, I don't think. This holds seasoning just fine. It's the slicker pans that seem to benefit from that extra step. So I'll do that next in an upcoming video, but for this one, I just wanted to show you this, this pan up close right out of the box. So as always, thanks for watching, and please subscribe because upcoming will be cooking with this bad boy and of course the seasoning process. Thanks, see ya.